Welcome to our Heritage Works. Today, we're going to take another look at touch lamp repair. If you haven't already seen the first one, please stop and review it, as it will also help this video make more sense. In this video, we will not only repair these two lamps, but we're also going to answer some of the questions that came up from watching the first video. One of the first questions I had was, how do you read the diagrams? Here I have 4 different types of modules. They vary in voltage, in wattage, in whether they dim continuously or in steps. So the difference is if you tap it, it'll change the light setting, or if you push and hold, it'll vary the light amount, not in a specific step. So I'm going to take a look at one of these, and then we will apply it to all the others. This diagram represents the color coding of the wires themselves. We will start at the plug and work our way through the entire diagram. This diagram has white, black, red, and yellow wires. Starting at the plug, we have the black wire. Sometimes it is not physically black. It'll be ribbed or striped or have some other designation. Sometimes it will be referred to as the hot or the positive. Now, positive and negative really aren't accurate in this situation, but some places will identify the wires as positive or negative. But we're concerned about the black wire, or the wire coming from the plug. The other wire coming from the plug is the neutral, or sometimes it will be a smooth wire versus the ribbed, and it will be identified as the negative on some schemes. Again, positive and negative is not accurate, but it gets the idea of completing the circuit. When we turn the lamp on, the power is going to follow the black wire and go until it enters the module. The module controls how bright the lamp is going to be and sends the appropriate power out the red line into the black wire that is attached to the lamp. The power goes up through the lamp, through the bulb, and then back down the white wire to leave the lamp. From there, the electricity, the power, returns on the white wire back to the plug to complete the circuit. So what about the yellow wire? This yellow wire is attached to the module and then goes to the metal part of the lamp. It is there to act as your switch. So depending on which kind of module you have, you'll either tap it to change it from low, medium, high, etc., or you'll tap and hold for it to go through a range of how bright it gets. You'll notice the white wire also physically connects to the module. It works with the yellow wire to help control the brightness and to decide what setting you have the lamp on. In summary, this is a physical wire diagram. So all the whites will be connected together. The black wire from the plug, the hot, ribbed, striped, whatever it is, will physically connect to the black wire on the module. The red wire on the module will continue on with the black wire on the lamp. And then the yellow wire from the module will physically connect to whatever metal is on the lamp that is going to be used as your switch. Now let's take a look at the other diagrams. If you notice, the first one in the upper left corner is the one we've been looking at. The one to its right in the upper right corner is actually the same diagram, The only difference is the yellow wire is now green. It is otherwise identical. So it is wired the same way that you would, with the exception they're showing a green wire coming out of the module and going to the lamp instead of a yellow one. This particular type with the green wire is for the continuous dimming or brightness control. So if you touch the pad or the lamp, it will continually get brighter instead of going in steps where it's just fixed amount of light that's coming out. The bottom two drawings are actually European in style. The wire on top at the plug is your hot wire, and it goes to the brown wire on the module. Now, the only difference in these two drawings is the red and the blue wires are reversed. One of them is for the step increment of light, and the other one is for a continuous range of light. I don't know which one's which. It really doesn't matter. All I need to know is which one is correct for the module that I have, and you'll need to follow the instructions. The other difference is the black wire on the module is the equivalent of our yellow wire. It goes to the lamp as our switch. So what happens if you don't have a picture that comes with your module and all you have is what is on the module itself to decipher? Let's take a look at this and see if we can figure out how to wire this thing up. Coming out of the module are the wires. In this particular case, we have the yellow, red, black, and white. And it's telling us where do each of these need to go. The diagram shows us that the yellow wire coming out needs to go onto the green wire, or towards the end it needs to go to the touch plate, or the metal part of the lamp that's going to be used as our switch. The red wire needs to go to the lamp. The black wire needs to go to our plug. The white wire will need to go to our plug and to our lamp. But how do we see this in this diagram? Inside the red circle, we see that the wire goes over top or is arched over the black wire. In the blue circle, we see that it is actually connected, kind of like a T. So it means there's an actual connection there. So when you have an arch, it means you're jumping over this wire. They are not touching. But where the wires come together and actually touch, then you need to have a physical connection. So how do we know what kind of module we need? Let's start with looking at the light bulbs themselves. You'll notice that these say 120 volt, and the top one is at 25 watts, and the bottom one is at 40 watts. The 120 volts represents the power coming from the power company for our area. I'm in the United States, and 120 volts is normal. In Europe or other parts of the world, it could be 220, 210, it could be something else. So you need to make sure that the volts match according to what is in your region that you live. The watts will tell us how much power does this need to be used. The higher the number, the more power it's going to consume. So we want to make sure that our switch can handle the amount of power that is needed to light up either a 25 or a 40 watt bulb. So how do we know what the module can handle? Well, in this particular case, I can flip it over and on the back I can see 120 VAC which is volts, AC current, and 150 watts. So I know that my voltage is correct. It matches my country. And the 150 watts means how much maximum can this handle before it burns up. Here are the specifications. When I go to order a different kind of module, you'll see that it's 120 volts. And depending on the kind of bulb that I use, it is either up to 25 watts if it's an LED style, or up to 100 watts if it's an incandescent style. I'm currently using incandescent, so I could use either the 25 or the 40 and have no problem. In the previous video, I had 3 bulbs, not 1, so I had to add them all together. So the 25 times 3, that's 75 watts. No problem, it's less than 100 watts. But if I tried to use the 40 watt, I would end up with 120 watts, and I would exceed the capability of the module, and then the module would eventually burn out and not be usable. So we need to keep in mind what kind of bulbs we're going to be using in the lamp when we pick our modules and order it. So make sure that the wattage on the bulbs is less than the total wattage that the module can handle. And you shouldn't have any problem as long as you are under that amount. So now let's go ahead and repair these 2 lamps that I have